Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. There was a dear sister who kept on calling when I was recording. Then I said, let me record her confession. So the story that she sent to me, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I was born and I was raised in Midlands in Zimbabwe. I will not tell you exactly where I am staying. Growing up, we grew up in a strong Christian family. We used to go to this other Pentecostal church that is called Zioja Forward in Faith. My parents, they were strong believers, and they believed that indeed the man that had started the church, he was a true prophet. And growing up in that church, I ended up dating my husband from the same church. We ended up having positions in church, and life was going very good. We would attend each and every Deeper Life. Every Easter conference, we were there. I used to sing in the choir, and I was part of the praise and worship, and I believed in God until life became difficult, until life broke me. The beginning of the end was when me and my husband decided to start a small business. I was a civil servant, so was my husband. The money that we were earning, it was not that good. So during those years, in the early 2000s, there were Zimbabwean people that would go to Botswana to buy some clothes, and we would then sell those clothes in different flea markets. I told my husband that if we could get into that business, maybe life was going to be okay. So we then started our own small flea market, and things got so bad, so much that we ended up selling our house. When we sold our house, we thought that maybe we would be able to use that money that we had gotten after selling the house, and we would do something with that money, but things did not change. We ended up moving from the suburbs where we were staying, and we started staying in the location in Gweru. When we were staying, our landlord, he was a miner. He owned some mines and he had a lot of money. This man, he had several businesses. One of the business that he did in the location was that he used to lend money to people, but this money came with heavy interest. So we went and we borrowed money from him because there was this other person that we thought that if we would give them the money when they would go to buy their stock in Botswana, when they return back with the stock, then we would be able to rise up quickly in our business. But life, sometimes it does not go according to plan. When the months passed, we had spent 6 months unable to pay the rent in time. And when he asked for his money, unfortunately, we failed to pay him back, and things changed. So my husband, he was now working 2 jobs. He was working in the government, but at night he was working as a security guard. There was one of his relatives who was the one that was responsible for hiring and firing. He knew that there were other residents whereby even if you had another job that you will do in the afternoon, when you go to work as a security guard, it will be a matter of you just sleeping, not doing anything, because it was in a safe premise, and that was where my husband would go at night. He would go there to sleep, and the next morning he would go to work, because he was trying to balance so that we can be able to have a better life. So one day when my husband was at work, one evening, that was when I was called by my landlord. He called me into his house. He told me that he wanted his money, and I told him that it was going to take a very long time for us to return back the money. He then said that since you do not have money, there was a way out. First of all, he wanted me to sleep with him. That was the deal that we were going to have in order for me to be able to clear the debt that me and my husband owed to this man. He then gave me this other bottle, and he told me to drink. There was something that was like a concoction that was in there, and he told me to drink it, and after that we then went and we slept together. That is how I was initiated into Satanism. So I was then given a mission. The mission that was given to me was that I was taken first to Bulawayo, where we met up with this other Indian woman whom I was told that she had came to Zim on her own mission, and I was then introduced to this other club, because when you are a Satanist, you do not deal all together at once, but rather you have your own clubs. So in our club, there was this other lady whom we used to call the chair lady. She was the one that used to speak with those that were way above us, and she will tell us what is it that we were supposed to do. I was given my mission. My mission was that I had to travel to Harare. We were supposed to travel together. We were supposed to go to Zayoja Forward in Faith headquarters. At that time, Ezekiel Gutim himself was going to be preaching there, and we were supposed to do something. The task was very simple. I was given a small black flower. This black flower that was given to me, it was wrapped in a small plastic bag. It was hidden in my handbag. So when this man walked in church, when everyone was celebrating as he was walking in church, I felt that the whole church was shaking. I was even scared, because I thought that I was going to be caught, that I was a Satanist. But my other club members, they had a car that was parked outside of the premises of the church. Inside this car, they were busy praying for me so that I can be as strong as iron. Even when he was walking past the room where I was seated, they told me not to be afraid, for they were praying for me so that I can be stiffened like iron. When it was time for him to preach, that was when I got up, and as I had been told to do, I was supposed to plant this flower in one of the flower beds that was by the driveway at the entrance. They told me that once this flower was going to take root, then there was going to be confusion, division, and spiritual blindness that was going to spread in the church. When I walked out of the church, I was scared that I was going to get caught. I then went towards the driveway of the entrance at the church. I then sat down, just pretending as if I was resting. And then that was when I started to dig a little hole with my hand. But the moment that I tried to put the flower into the soil, that was when my hand froze. My hand was stiffened. I could not even move. That was when my club members saw that there was something that was happening to me, and they drove into the church, and they came to where I was, and they helped me to get into the car. As we were driving away, that was when the chair lady started to blame me, and she told me that I was a complete failure because I had failed on my mission. After that failure, my life was never the same. I was told that I was supposed to continue on this mission even though I had failed, for the devil does not offer you two chances. One day when we were busy just talking, that was when we discussed that we were supposed to go and try to attack the church, but to attack the church from another angle. We then said that instead of focusing on the headquarters, how about if we go maybe to a church that will be far off in the rural areas. So amongst my club members, there was another guy that was born and raised in Muzarabani. He told us that we could go and try this in his village. So we then drove to Muzarabani, and when it was on a Sunday, we then walked to his church, because this church, it did not even have a fence or a gate. It was just one of those churches in the village. But to our surprise, when we got closer to the church, we then saw that there was a burning flame. But this burning flame, it was like a spinning sword of fire, and it was very scary, and we could not go to that church. Even when we tried to enter into the church, when we were in Harare, we would see that in front of the gate there would be a man. This man would be made out of fire. No one would even see that there is a man that is standing in the middle of the gate. The cars that will be driving into the church premises, they would drive past that man. Even the people that would be walking into the church premises, they would be walking through the flames of fire, and they did not even see or notice anything. But when me and my club members, when we would try to get into the premises, we would see that burning man that will be standing there, and I knew that the mission was a failure. I was then told that I was going to be punished because I had failed my mission. I was told that I was supposed to get myself to Bulawayo, where I was initiated. The car that I was driving at that time was taken away from me. All the money that was being given to me, it stopped coming. They told me to look for ways in order for me to go to Bulawayo at the appointed time. I went there. Even when I was on the bus, I did not even have any food to eat. That is how they were punishing me. I finally arrived in Bulawayo, and I went to that very same house where the initiation had started, where they initiated me when I went with my landlord for the first time. Arriving there, I then got into the yard, and I saw that there were a lot of people that were waiting for me. People were having orgies. There were people that were sleeping with each other in their cars. There were people that were sleeping with each other on the lawn, in the swimming pool. Everyone there was naked. I was then told to get inside, where I met with the priestess, and the priestess explained it to me that from day one I knew what I was getting myself into. And if I was going to fail on any mission, then there was going to be a punishment that would be brought to me. So I was punished, and I was told that the punishment was that a knife was brought before me. This knife, it was like a needle, but a long one. It was placed on top of my head, and this knife, even though no one was holding the knife, it felt as if it was suspended in the air, floating in the air, and there was no one that was holding it. That is the last thing that I remember. So until 2010, I was running mad. I have no memory whatsoever as to what was happening to me, but I would walk from Harare to Bulawayo, walking on the highway, but I still do not have any memory at all. When I finally regained my consciousness, that was when I was taken by some people to South Africa, where I was placed inside a coffin. And when they brought me out of that coffin, that was when I started to remember everything that had happened and all of these years that had gone by. As for my husband is living abroad right now. He has a family there, and he does not even know that when we went broke, there were some other sacrifices that I was forced to do, and I got initiated into Satanism. I really do not have a bond at all with my kids. We share no bond at all. They are also staying with my husband abroad. As for me, I'm still a Satanist. I'm still following orders, because if I do not do that, I can lose my children. I know where I am going to when I die. But what I want to tell you is that right now, when I look at the world, there is so much evil in the world. Back in those days, we used to struggle to initiate people into Satanism. When I came back, I saw that the world has changed. Things like TikTok, there are people that can go on TikTok, and the way that they dance, especially the women, some of these women, they don't even know that they are initiating themselves and others without them knowing that they are initiating their followers into Satanism. It has become so easy because of the wickedness that is in this world. There are a lot of people on TikTok that I have noticed that use foul language. A foul mouth is always far from God. This is my own story. When you post my confession, please tell me. I'll be following through in the comment section. dear listeners, right, there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Let us try to speak with our dear sister in the comment section. So this was an episode that I did not think that I was going to record and post it today, but when I was busy recording, she kept calling, and then I saw the messages and I said, let me share this with you. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. If you have ever had such an encounter with a person that said that they are a Satanist, you can come to my inbox and you can share with me your own side of the story. Let us meet again in the following episode.